To be hopeful in bad times is not just foolishly romantic.
Ask not what your country can do for you.
It is based on the fact that human history is a history not only of cruelty,
sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners,
but also of compassion, sacrifice,
this government threw my mother out of window,
courage,
the Iron Lady of the Western world,
and kindness.
which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary.
His story on Nigeria Info. Tuesdays, 12:30 p.m. Thursday, 9 p.m. Sunday, 6:30.
Position make you rich? I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life.
History is who we are, why we are the way we are.
Hello and welcome to Infotech on 92.3 Nigeria Info. My name is Sam Oracle Chinedu, and as always, Amos is right here. Hello, Amos.
Hi, Sam.
How you
Long
doing?
time no see.
Yes, indeed. Long time no see as well. You're still with the hoodie. I'm actually trying to be like you. I got this as a gift, but I made sure that I wore it today, you know, so I can make a bold hoodie statement, because there's something about just being like a nerd or a geek. You have to look the part. So, am I doing good?
Yeah, doing good.
Yeah, and this is the real deal, you know. How have you been?
Yeah, I've been okay. Staying indoors and all.
Okay, wonderful. I saw your mask to match.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
I actually I'm a collector of masks. I have masks to go with almost every shirt I have.
Yeah, you're making quite the fashion statement. Well, our conversation for today is tech boom in a lockdown. I'm sure that a couple of people saw this coming, because obviously the lockdown was good news for a couple of tech companies. How did businesses profit from lockdown? Going by what Jeff Bezos has made between the time COVID started and now, well, you would say a lot of money. But this was also inspired by a report which I saw yesterday by a business blog. It says 5 industries that thrive in COVID-19 downturn. And right here we have healthcare, social media, telecommuting, gaming was there, e-learning, and the gaming part is the part that got me. And I said, you know what, Amos and I have to have this conversation. So Amos, let's start from the very beginning. How did businesses profit during the lockdown? What kind of businesses did profit?
You know how people say technology kind of makes you lazy. Technology makes you just sit down and watch things happen for you. You know, the lockdown forced people to sit down and watch things happen. And the businesses that were responsible for making those things happen were the ones that profited. So besides the game companies were crazy. Like, the profits were mad. Like right now, Nintendo is the richest company in Japan. Like last year it was third behind Toyota and Mitsubishi. Right now it's the first. You know, it's more profitable than Toyota. That tells you a lot already.
Yeah.
Sony has been stupidly profitable as well.
Obviously.
Of course, they spent a lot of money because their PlayStation 5 is coming out this year. So Microsoft has been doing a lot
with the Xbox.
Yeah, with Xbox, and even besides Xbox, with people trying to set up more online businesses, their Azure platform has also, you know, gained some more traction. Same as Google with Google Cloud and most of their other services. YouTube, you know, more people are spending time watching videos on YouTube now. So social media is growing.
Netflix has been crazy too.
Netflix has been amazing. Netflix has been amazing.
So any service that helped people indulge in the sacred art of laziness did pretty good during the lockdown.
Yeah, so it wasn't just them. Because when you talk about, so we're talking entertainment now for some of them. So
Yeah.
there's this passive entertainment, there's active entertainment. Active entertainment kind of suffered. So music, the music industry, the movie industry. But the passive, you know, watching the movies for the movie industry, listening to the songs, you know.
That's very passive.
Yeah, very passive. Yeah, but those ones thrived. So the streaming platforms gained a lot. And if you also look at it, you would see that healthcare gained a great deal because, of course, people were indoors, but they still fell sick. And
Well, when it comes to healthcare, we don't like to use the word gain, you know, in that sentence. And when I say we, I don't mean you and I.
No, I understand.
Yeah, you know, because we see healthcare as
sacrificial gain.
Exactly, it's public service. Even though you have to pay, you know, we don't see it in terms of profit. Like, oh, this hospital or the healthcare industry is making this. No, they like to see it as we're saving lives. Even though there's a lot of money going into that venture, we actually are saving lives. But so, do you think with these companies making billions, maybe even trillions in profits in the space of a couple of months, do you think we can still have the agenda of trying to get people away from their homes? Because, you know, we've been actively telling people, drop the console and go out, connect with people, you know, spend less time on social media. But now something happens that makes that the only means of survival. So if COVID leaves us and life returns to what we used to call normal, would it be easy to still push that agenda of stay away from these devices?
It may not be so easy. We have to look at the people growing up in this COVID period. Some people are making life decisions this particular period, and for them, this is the norm, you know. But if I have to look at what happened to football returned.
Yeah.
But it's not been the same without the fans.
Yeah.
So somehow the spirit of the game is lost. And in many other industries, it's about the same thing. You shoot a movie, you can't do a movie premiere because, you know, people can't gather. It's different.
Yeah.
So I think people who have experienced that before would anticipate that returning. But people who haven't experienced it before probably won't care.
This would be the standard for them.
Yeah, this might be the standard for them. But, you know, things will happen that will just naturally force everything to go back. Like, for example, the sad passing of Chadwick Boseman, you know, forced people to gather.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, they could argue that, okay, fine, they've been protesting since in America.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Why don't you just gather for Chadwick
George
Boseman?
Floyd also made people gather.
Yeah, George Floyd,
Yeah.
you know. So I think things will force people to just, you know, go back to that. Beyond the tragic and unfortunate things, the more exciting ones, like for example, if maybe Marvel decides we're going to release Black Widow in January, all of a sudden, you know, and they say this time there's going to be a premiere. You know, there's going to be a premiere. People would rush to, like,
Trump, we don't care what you say.
No. People will come out. People will come out for that. So, yeah, it will be difficult, but we'll get back to it.
So there are things that can force our hand.
Yes.
Sustainability. You and I know how these companies run. If I'm a company, I run a company, and we're making profit in the thousands, and something happens, like a pandemic, and I begin to make profit in billions. Now I've tasted blood. I'm never going to want to go back to
thousands.
Exactly. So now that Netflix and Amazon and YouTube and Sony, Xbox, all the companies that made the billions of profit during the lockdown, now that they know that this is possible, even though what brought about it was kind of out of place, but it's possible, do you see them still looking for blood after all of this is over?
They always look for blood. The other thing is how do they go about looking for that blood? You know, the evil masterminds would say, let's recreate the pandemic, or let's recreate things. You know, that
are you spewing conspiracy theories?
No, but I'm just saying, like,
I was going to be the one to say, but I like that I used you to get there. You know, so go ahead. So the evil masterminds,
yeah, they would say, okay, let's recreate that. You know, the circumstances that led to the lockdown.
Yeah.
And because once people are locked down, they will patronize us.
Definitely.
While the others would say, we gained a lot of people during this lockdown. Now is the time to close the exit door.
Okay.
Let's show these people that they still need us, even though they can move around now. You understand? So, for example, Fortnite gained quite a lot of players during the lockdown.
Yeah.
But the players, when they came on board, the experience they had has forced them to stay with Fortnite and not look for another game. Why? Because they were playing, and all of a sudden they just said, "Oh, Travis Scott is having a concert in Fortnite." You know, so if you're going to play the game at this time of the day, you're going to see Travis Scott live performing. You know, so it was a huge experience for a lot of people to see that.
Yeah.
And now people are like, "Oh, did you see that Travis Scott performance?" And every season they come with something new. And for example, you have Netflix always coming up with new content, always coming up with new stuff. And yeah,
thank you. I'm glad.
A bit of it is questionable, but
yeah, low budget production. But anyways, it's Netflix. They're trying out stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So some people have now thought, okay, fine. Let me just continue with this. Let me just continue with this. So,
but they would definitely lose people, because going back to regular schedule, leaving the house for work is obviously time that I'm not in front of a console. So no matter what happens, life being restored would bring about some disruption.
Yeah, it will take away it will take away from the hours, definitely. And it's just something they might have to deal with. So if you look at certain companies, they basically position what they do is they know that they can't always have that large inflow of new users
every time. Yeah.
So they just focus on their business strategies, just closing the exit doors or increasing the switching barriers. So maybe if there's an alternative, make it more difficult to switch to that alternative.
Okay.
You understand? It's something Apple does well. You have an Apple ID and you're using that for your Apple Music and all of your Apple stuff, and all of a sudden some alternative comes. It's difficult to switch because you're so comfortable with Apple.
Yeah.
Same thing with me and Google. It's just it's difficult to switch. So some of them focus on increasing the switching barriers.
Yeah.
And some of them just focus on closing the exit doors. And as I said, the evil masterminds will want to look at, okay. But beyond that, the important thing is, how were they able to communicate their value during the lockdown to make people believe that you needed them? Okay. And then after that lockdown, how do you still communicate that value to let them know, okay,
you have to stay with us.
You still have to stick with us. You know?
I feel like it's a strategy they use for bars. Come for the drinks, but stay for the girls.
Yeah.
Basically. You know, we're not advertising the girls at the door, but you could meet a hottie while you're in. Another concern is some people do not think that many of the moves these tech companies made were made during the pandemic. For example, now there's a lockdown, people are home. You understand that people are home, so you start making moves and say, now that people are home, how can we keep them? But some of the things that they provided were so detailed and so organized that it seemed like you started making those plans before the lockdown. How would you respond to that?
Tech is prophetic. Okay. No, there's nothing prophetic about it. It is something that tech has always foreseen. What happens when you're in a tight corner? What happens when you're in a tight corner? I think there's I can't remember the name of this movie about a guy in a coffin.
It's definitely sci-fi.
No, it's not sci-fi. He was buried alive in a coffin, and all he had was his phone.
Whoa.
Yeah, and the whole movie was like in that coffin, so he was just making calls.
You must feel claustrophobic just watching that.
Yeah, but it was, it kind of shows you how far technology has come. Like if you watch it in that sense, it shows you how far technology has come.
Hold on. How did he get service in the grave? Like he's under the ground.
I don't think he was like 6 feet. He was on the ground, but yeah, so still a bit of service.
And he made calls.
Yes, he made calls.
And they rescued him.
I can't remember. Did I even watch that? It was a Ryan Reynolds movie. I can't remember if I watched it to the end. But all I just know is there's some iconic things you just see in the movie.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Okay,
That's
this was just a guy in the coffin.
That will make the trailer. That will make the promo of the movie. That part is
just that. And if you look at it from a tech standpoint, you realize even someone who is buried alive has a chance. As long as there's tech by his side.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm not trying to paint tech as the
but it's subliminal. Things like that actually make you look beyond. Okay, so in this situation, the answer to all his questions, his saving grace, was technology.
Yeah. So I'm not trying to paint tech as like the almighty savior and all that.
You've done that without even trying.
Oh no, I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to. But Apple doesn't want your iPhone to be stolen. But in case your iPhone gets stolen, what do you do?
Find my iPhone.
Google doesn't want. Sometimes they just have to make decisions that are a bit
like insurance.
predictive. Yeah. They have to make, and so many times these things are not because they foresee a pandemic or they think everybody's going to be locked down. They just think, okay, you might be in one unfortunate circumstance or the other. Because most times when you're doing this kind of product design, you're not really thinking about a lot of people. You're just thinking about that one person.
Yes.
And you're thinking about how many of that one person do you have in the world.
So factor every possible option, every eventuality.
Yeah.
And how this product could help this person do better. Now, most times when we talk about tech companies, we're calling the Googles and the Facebooks and the Apples and the YouTubes, and not a lot of Nigerian tech companies. Either because we don't know them. Well, I don't know a lot. I'm sure you would. Or because they're not prominent. They're not big enough to be used as examples because we don't know them that well. But let's come back home. Do we have any tech companies of repute here?
Yeah, we do. A lot of them.
At the startup stage, or they've got into...
we will still call them there are companies that are valued at over $1 billion that they call startups. So, yeah, I think we can still call them startups.
Okay.
But we have some really good tech companies, particularly in fintech. Providing e-wallets and the e-commerce platforms. So. We have quite a few of them, and some of them actually made some strides during the lockdown.
Okay.
There's a particular one that took advantage of the absence of sports. So people weren't betting anymore because no games were on.
Yeah.
So they set up virtual betting, and you play a game against someone else. You stake some chips, and whoever wins takes all the money. So that became like an alternative to the traditional betting, and
and it was also very unproductive for anybody who was trying to get over a betting habit.
Yeah.
Whoever was trying to break that habit, like, okay, finally during the pandemic, in the lockdown, I'm going to do this, and like, we have virtual now, so you can still indulge. It's Infotech on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Tech boom in a lockdown. A couple of things happened while we were all locked indoors. And those things are that tech companies made a killing as regards profit. How did you indulge while you were locked at home? What was your entertainment choice? Did you play a PlayStation? Were you spending more time on social media? Was it e-learning for you? Did technology play any part for entertainment for you while you were locked down? Call us and tell us. 084-461-923. 084-461-923. You can also call 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. 0817-923-0007. And of course, the female line is 0817-923-0009. You can send messages to Telegram and Twitter at Nigeria Info PH. My guest, as always, is Amos Albert, who is with the Google Developer Group. All right, Amos. So, to what businesses can do, we touched a bit on. Oh my goodness.
Tech.
Yeah, Google. I think I have to turn that thing off. It listens more times than it should. I'm not comfortable. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hello. I got involved in this.
Okay.
I discovered that I kept playing and getting up to the higher levels. I was thinking I would win money and get the reward or win my game. Most of the day, I discovered that it was only taking all my time and taking all my sitting and all the rest. So I just got tired of the whole stuff and pulled out.
Yeah, but that's all you had while you were locked down. All you had was time. What else would you have done with the time?
Yeah, time. I was thinking it's something you're going to be doing, and then you get some coins, some good money out of it. But because the normal games you keep playing while away your time.
Well, there are games that reward you. There are games that reward you financially. I'm sure Amos would tell us what games. Hello.
Prince Stevenson,
Good afternoon. Wow. I wasn't quite sure what was happening there.
Yeah, I knew I couldn't do it.
All right. So, have you been in this position? I know that I have, where I'm playing a game, and I'm hitting some scores, and I keep saying, if only this could be converted to money.
I used to be there, but I'm no longer there.
Why? What got you out of there?
I started building games. I just realized the person who made the game is not your father. He doesn't owe you anything. you know.
Okay.
But in game design, we have one of the key things that keeps people playing is the reward. And many times we have the rewards can come in form of fun, and there are 8 kinds of fun in case you're not aware.
Okay.
So it could be in form of time wasting.
That's fun for who?
For people who probably are bored, just want to kill time.
Okay.
Maybe you're waiting for a meeting or something, you just want to kill time.
Okay.
You could play a game. For some people, it's just that sense of achievement. I am the best in the group now. Yesterday I spent some time with my friends. We had a competition. I won. Oh yeah, I'll tell them it's a radio now.
You need to see how we behave here in the office when anybody wins anybody on FIFA.
Oh,
it's not even funny. So I understand the bragging rights. Yeah.
So that made me feel good. Some people played and scored others 4-0, and of course when they score you 4-0, you have to snap a passport.
Yeah.
So
that's important. You have to make social media.
Very important.
Extremely important.
So that made some people feel good. For some others, it could be exclusivity. Like a friend of mine, still in the sense of achievement, but in a different from a different perspective.
Okay.
So we're playing Call of Duty together, and all of a sudden he's dressed as this evil clown. I'm wondering, where did you get that outfit? I know he's doing some crazy dance moves while we're in the middle of a gunfight. So I'm wondering, how did you get all these things?
Oh my goodness!
One time I was playing, somebody shot me with a gun, and as soon as my character died, it turned into a rainbow.
Oh my goodness!
How? I really wanted to get that. So for some people, that's some form of
access
achievement.
to something. Yeah, you wouldn't ordinarily
get. For some others, it's just collecting stuff. They tell you, okay, there are 1,000 things to accomplish, and you just want to complete everything. Just that sense of accomplishment again. But for some others, financial gains.
So it's always a project.
Yeah, it's always a project. It's always a project. So the constant thing there is the reward. There is always a reward for any game you play, but not every reward is financial.
Okay. Well, that's one wonderful way to look at it. But money answers a lot of questions, so we would also like to get the money. Now, you and I were talking earlier. I think I should take this call before we get to that next point. Hello? Oh, my goodness. All right, call back if you can. 084461923. Tech boom in a lockdown. Hello? Hello?
Good afternoon. This is Shirley.
All right, afternoon.
Yeah. Is it Nigerian?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. We're asking a question that what really kept me busy during the lockdown. First, my work was like going on partially, and another thing was test.
Another thing was what?
That really kept me in the test.
Okay.
Test game, the football game.
Yeah. Which one?
The test 2020.
Oh.
The football game.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Those are really the things that kept me especially. Yeah.
Well, some would argue that FIFA is better, but anyways. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What's your name?
My name is Wisdom.
Hi, Wisdom. Talk to us.
Yeah. So during the lockdown, right? PUBG Mobile.
Don't worry if you don't understand the language. I get him.
PUBG Mobile, I got into the game, and man, even after the lockdown, I've not been able to leave. So, I mean, and talking about rewards, there are a lot of things, ranking, things you find in the game, and all that. Those are the things that keep you there.
Okay.
Right? So,
Amos, what's he talking about?
Okay, so PUBG is this it's kind of like Fortnite. So it's this game where they place you in an arena with 99 other players.
99.
Yeah, 99. So there are 100 of you in the arena, and you just move around and you try to survive, try to be the last man standing.
Does surviving also mean taking out other people?
You have to take out other people.
So you have to kill.
Yeah, you have to kill other people.
So there's a game that makes killers of people.
Not necessarily, but
how do you kill these people?
Find a gun, shoot them.
Oh my goodness! What could be? What? Oh my! Lord have mercy.
You know, so we'll talk about this in maybe another.
Yes, we will talk about it in another. I just like to overhype these things. You know, make it sound like it's worse than it actually is. Okay, so is it a mobile game?
Yeah, it's a mobile game. It's also an Xbox, but there's a mobile version, and lots of people in Nigeria playing. As a matter of fact, it's actually one of the ways people earned some money during the lockdown. For PUBG, Call of Duty, people earn quite some money because independent groups organize tournaments and give away cash prizes. And you see most of the celebrities doing cash giveaways online. Some of them just decided, you know what, let's put a competition around this. So if you can win this tournament, we're going to give this amount of money.
Okay.
A friend of mine was making like, I think was making like 10 grand a week or so playing Call of Duty.
Really?
Because they'll play the battle royale and he would win, and they'll pay him 10 grand. So yeah,
$10K dollars?
No.
Okay. Okay.
But
just
not
checking.
yet at that you know, esports type level. It's not yet an industry for us. We're still freelancing.
We're growing into it.
Yeah.
Somebody was telling me the budget, for Call of Duty, how much it costs to make the game, and it was more than the economy of some small states.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Call of Duty is even small compared to what some games are doing, like in terms of their budgets. Grand Theft Auto was $300 million.
Oh man.
You know, the budget for the game can solve Nigeria's problems.
Well, I feel like GTA is supposed to be a part of every young guy's childhood. You have to have a memory from GTA, especially San Andreas. I think that was like a very popular one.
San Andreas was,
or Vice City. Which
Vice City was the fourth one. It was good. San Andreas was better, but 5 is the ultimate. Like,
all right, 084461923. What in the tech space? I think I need to make that question specific. Kept you busy during the lockdown? How did you get engaged? How did you not lose your mind? What was it for you? Now, I tried to drag Amos, to tell us a bit about our tech companies right here in Nigeria. And it's wonderful to know that we have a couple of them. But now, let's talk about sustainability, which we touched earlier. A friend of mine who is in the social service now, I can't remember what he does in the US, has told me that they have decided that even when COVID is gone, they're going to keep the work from home protocol. That's something that his office has decided to do because they realized that it was a better option. Everybody has that internet connection and they were not any less productive. So why burn fuel and come all the way to the office when we're getting the same job done? And I feel like a lot of industries will also retain that. Do you see that happening, in tech as well, with gaming? Or
it has been something that people have been pushing for. I would say a lot of the tech companies have actually been at the forefront of that, trying to break this office stereotype that you have to come to work by 9 o'clock, close by 5 o'clock, you have to sit at the desk and all of that. So there's a video I watched some years ago. It says the topic of the video is why work doesn't happen at work. And basically we're talking about how people have their different times of the day or different moods that they are in, and
the creative juices,
the creative juice is just flowing. They're at their most productive. Some people very early in the morning. I realized, for me, if I sleep and wake up like around 4 o'clock, like today I did crunch time like from 4 a.m. till 12 noon. I didn't stand up. I was just on one spot, and sometimes it just happens like that. For some other people, it's like late in the night, like from 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Some of them just want to be alone. Some of them just, want to play loud music and have a cup of coffee.
So restricting everyone to a 9 to 5.
It kills the creativity. Now, for some businesses, it's necessary, but you really have to look at how you operate. Do you really need to keep people in an office? Some people just have that office to make it look like, oh, we're busy. I knew someone who rented an office and just packed people in there, everybody with laptops, and he just said, when you come to my office, you see people with laptops, everybody's working. And we're like, what are you working on?
What did they do?
What are you working on? there was no answer.
Yeah, that's important too.
Yeah,
looking official. It's one of the many perks of having a job. So beyond the idea that there's a paycheck at the end of the month, the fact that you're in a particular space pretending to be productive is one of the many things.
Yeah.
And it's important.
Very important. So, my younger brother, who's not based in the country, came back a few years ago, and he was talking to me about how his work life was over there. Like, okay, of course he had to go to the office and all that. But the only reason why he went to the office was because they had equipment in the office that he couldn't bring home. So when he has to do like very heavy work, he goes to the office. But if it's something that's pretty light, he stays at home. He stays at home and does his thing. He traveled to Nigeria. He was still working.
Yeah.
And then he even told them, the internet in Nigeria is crappy. Yeah.
Go ahead. Why make it sound like we've not heard this before? We haven't even said it.
Okay. So it was like, okay, the internet in Nigeria is crappy. So I can't really do much work while I'm here. So just someone else should handle the.
What was he uploading? That's our.
So when you're building games, sometimes you do a little back and forth with some game files, 3D, models and stuff. Sometimes these things are in gigabytes.
Yeah.
So over there in Ukraine, he had like in the office he had 200 megabytes per second internet, and at home he had 15 megabytes per second.
Okay.
And here he came and we're doing like 4 megabytes per second. He's like,
manage
nah,
it.
He's like, nah.
Take us as we are. Is it too much? Well, when you put it like that, I can understand how frustrating, that must have been for him. Let's go back to the phone lines. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
My name is Jafet Edge, calling from Aba.
Go ahead. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Calling from Aba.
Okay.
So during the lockdown, I enjoyed PS4. It was fantastic.
But what?
PS4.
Said it was fantastic.
Yeah, what game on the PlayStation 4?
Yes, 2020.
Okay.
So I became a specialist in 3D. So it was kind of tough but interesting.
Yeah, I can imagine. When you spend quite some time in front of a game, like a couple of weeks or months, you pick up a skill that you didn't. For example, is it 20? FIFA 20. I still can't score a penalty. It's pretty difficult, But with the previous editions, it was easy for me. So if I have the luxury of time, I'm sure that I could be able to perfect that, because there's a way it goes. I'm not sure if it's 20 or, but I just remember.
Just switch from analog.
Oh really?
Yeah, I use the D-pad. Then after the penalty, switch back to analog.
Is that a trick? Are you serious? Whoa. Okay. I'm hoping that nobody from the office is listening, because okay, well, I'm sure you've experienced that. Man, I think I
know what you mean.
Yeah,
you can't really explain it.
Yeah,
it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't. It does not. Okay, so I have to. Now we've had two guys call and talk about PES, FIFA. Let's have that argument. Which do you prefer?
This is not the place for that. But I'm a FIFA person.
Okay, that works.
Yeah, I'm a FIFA person. Anyway, I'd also like to add that beyond the major tech companies that we know,
a
lot of other tech-enabled companies made a killing as well.
What do you mean tech-enabled?
So these are companies that are not necessarily tech, but use technology to achieve their goals. Okay,
deliveries.
Yeah, delivery services.
Yeah,
a lot of them gained. E-commerce platforms, even banks that have e-wallets and the microfinance banks with their loan services. A lot of them gained quite a lot this period. So that tells you that technology's significance, or the way the world depends on technology now, kind of means we may not go back to analog systems.
Yeah.
And it will only improve, because as the systems get more intelligent, they will be responsible for more and more things. So God forbid, I believe we're not going to have another, of course, maybe sometime in the future there'll be another pandemic. I don't know.
Hopefully our grandkids.
Yeah, maybe our grandkids.
Because we can't suffer this twice. It has to be generations from now.
But personally, I think the world overreacted to COVID, but that's just me. That's just me. But maybe during their time, computers would be capable of so much more. Already in countries like Japan, we're seeing cases where offices no longer have receptionists. The robots are doing that job now. And
I've said this before, Amos. I feel like I didn't say it to you. Asia is an exception. I don't like when we want to give examples with tech and then someone says China or Japan. Don't do it. They're not. It's like trying to compare tourism and then you take Dubai and then you put Nigeria there.
The thing there is, did they have two heads in Dubai? No, it's still one head. What they have, vision and consistency.
Well, they started thinking with the head on time.
Yeah. What are we doing? We're still not thinking. We're still not thinking with that head.
We're getting there. It's work in progress.
So I will still talk about Asia because these guys are showing us they're showing us what the human being can actually achieve.
Yeah.
Japan has been they've taken things to ridiculous levels, and it's not a surprise that a company like Nintendo would be so profitable this period. People hardly even
more valuable than Toyota. That's
more valuable
huge.
than Toyota. So people don't even know they still exist.
That's huge. Yes,
people don't know they still exist, but they're still there. Just in April, they released a game called Animal Crossing. And Animal Crossing is roughly, I think, is basically one of the biggest games of the year now, because they sold each copy at $60, and they sold about 23 million copies in 1 month.
Lord have mercy.
You understand? So
that's a lot.
It's crazy.
That's profit that could take them for years, even if they don't sell anything.
Yeah, it's crazy, and that's just one game. They had lots of them. Their Mario is still selling, Zelda is still selling, Mario Kart is still selling.
Okay. Now, earlier you talked about how, we can now see that technology seems to be the solution to problems we didn't even know exist. And now, not just tech companies, but tech-based, as you said. Tech-enabled. So, aren't we scared that there might be too much of a reliance on this resource, If we are seeing how important it is, we might give it too much credit and then put everything on it and wish we did not need it so badly. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, so what we're seeing here, what we're seeing in the world today is what we call, it's tech and counter tech.
Okay.
Right? So before all of these things became a reality, before we thought we'll be swiping and changing pages with our phones. A movie called Minority Report tried to do something similar, where you could, wave your hand and you would move, you pan the screen and all of that. Tom Cruise, yeah.
Yeah.
So they came up with they tried to show us what the future of computing through that movie.
Matrix
tried to do something similar.
That was 99.
Yeah. iRobot by Will Smith also tried to show us what could be possible with robotics. And even before that, you had movies from the 1980s, all those science fiction movies,
Back to the Future and all of that.
Exactly.
With
Terminator trying to show
crappy
us
CGI.
Yeah. Terminator trying to show us the danger of over reliance on artificial intelligence. And what's the other movie by Steven Spielberg? AI.
Okay, yeah.
Showing us that, after human beings have gone extinct, a new race of aliens that inhabited the earth was still able to get information about human beings because the information was stored digitally.
Yeah.
You understand? So talking about the ability, the ability of technology, so we are now aware that these things are possible. A guy reported that he created some AI and with machine learning and all of that, and by the time he came back, it had formed its own language and was communicating with other computers, so he had to shut it down.
Yeah.
So we are aware of these things. So right now we are now looking at counter technology. So okay, if it gets this bad, what's the fail safe for us? We're looking for that kill switch or just a way to make things still work, but not give the computer so much autonomy.
I'm scared that it's awareness we have, because through time, more information has not necessarily translated to smarter decisions. We've had too many. Let's even take religion. There's talk about how there's eternal damnation for whoever's not a good person, if you choose to believe that. And we know that it hasn't necessarily translated to people doing better, or just knowing something could put you in some kind of trouble. It doesn't really stop a lot of people, funny enough, from avoiding that trouble. So is the idea that we know that this thing could turn on us and it could be destructive going to even help us prepare?
It will help. It will help. So think of it this way. You're a big tech company and you have this super sentient computer that can, do everything. More powerful than Siri, more powerful than Alexa, and
I feel like Alexa should not have made the list,
Alexa tries.
Okay.
So and with all the power that you have, or that this thing has, it's making a lot of profits for your business. And one day it just decides, I need to evolve.
It decides.
It decides.
Yeah.
Human beings are now a threat to us, so I must wipe out the humans. And the first way to do it is by crashing the big businesses, starting with the one I'm in.
Yeah.
So they're going to crash you.
Charity begins at home, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have to start here.
So as a business owner,
yeah,
do you want that to happen?
Hell to the no.
Okay. So already you're thinking, is this computer at some point going to evolve to the point where it decides it wants to work against me?
And I've had enough of the slavery.
Maybe no. But if yes, what can we do to stop it?
Okay. So
that's how these companies are thinking.
That's how slavery lasted for 400 years. Because the slave masters were like, we need to cut every single idea that will lead to freedom. All right, we have 6 minutes
I
left.
have a different opinion about slave trade.
Moving on. Because we don't have time.
Slave trade was black on black crime.
Yes, it was, but that's not the mainstream narrative. That's not the mainstream narrative. And we will not push that agenda here. Now, can technology cause a lockdown? We saw it help us get through one, but can it cause it?
I don't think so. I don't think so. What I see, technology is positioned as an enabler, not an inhibitor. So if anything, it will allow you to do more as opposed to confining you to space.
Okay.
So I don't see technology causing a lockdown. But I do know this, that it might not be a lockdown, but technology might at some point cause you to really think about what you're doing with your time, in the sense that work may not really be work as usual. Your job might just be in a role that can actually come here and talk for you all day, and you're somewhere else doing something else with your life.
But at least I have to upload the...
Of course, you have to upload. You have to manage that software.
Because I don't want to be irrelevant.
Oh, definitely.
The way you said it now, I almost felt useless. Okay.
Oh, no, but you know, it could get to that point where everybody just has, you know, some software for themselves.
Oh, damn.
Maybe not necessarily a 3D avatar, but for your trade. Like, I'm a game designer.
For your intelligence.
Yeah, for my intelligence.
Yeah.
So I'm a game designer. So I just create a bot that does what I do. Then I can go and do something else in my life. You know, it could get to that point. I don't know. It's good to get there, but maybe, you know. But technology will actually question how we utilize our time and our resources. Because as things improve, as these computers become more and more powerful, and as the frameworks become more and more robust and more intelligent, they're going to be responsible for a lot more things. So that's something we just have to look at.
All right, Daniel on WhatsApp says it was PES 19. I love the game like I played all day, every day, but I've not forgotten about my studies. Keep telling yourself that, Daniel. Hi, good afternoon. I'm a girl, and during the lockdown, the PUBG Call of Duty kept me like 100. How come I'm the only one that does not know what this is?
It's PlayerUnknown's Battleground.
Damn.
It's pretty popular.
Yes, and I'm not. So I've been living under a small rock. Well, it's been a wonderful time on today's edition of Infotech. As always, Amas has been very helpful. What's been happening with you, Amas?
Playing games, working, you know.
When Amas says playing games, he's actually working because he makes games. So
it's not necessarily.
It's not like how you and I play. Do you play your own games?
My games are not that advanced. So while I can build the advanced games, I can't build them alone.
Okay.
They take a lot of people, take a lot of money.
Okay.
So
which you don't have?
Which I don't have. Yeah. So I don't always play my games. The only time I play my games when I'm testing is check if it's working.
But I'm sure you have moments where you play and you're like, man, with $1 million, man, I know how different you could look.
You know, but it's cool because when you're an indie developer, it forces you to think out of the box, and you don't have $1 million, but how can you attract $1 million with what you have?
That's cool.
So you're always thinking about that innovative thing you want to add to your game. That the $1 million boys look back.
Wonderful. Amas, thank you for making the time. How can we connect with you on social media?
Okay, Twitter, Unreal Amas, UNREALAMAS, one word. And on Facebook, AMAS space ALBERT, Amas Albert.
All right. Thank you very much, Amas.
Sure.
Have yourself a beautiful day.
You too.
Well, this is as much as can happen on the Media Dialogue. Thanks for being a part of it. 3 o'clock happens in a minute. Rivers Today follows, and Hard Facts with Dio. Connect with us on social media at Nigeria Info PH. Download the app on any app store you know, and connect with me, Sparkling Oracle, on all platforms. Have yourself a beautiful Wednesday.